We're gathered here today to explore something every single one of us longs for: real, lasting joy, in a world that keeps urging us to chase it. Whether through career milestones, possessions, or the approval of others, we often forget a profound truth. Happiness can't be caught like a prize or found in shallow accomplishments. It doesn't live in your bank balance, your apartment, or the awards you stack up. The kind of joy that breathes life into your soul comes from somewhere far deeper. So how do we stop searching in all the wrong places? How do we begin to truly feel fulfilled? I want to share 5 principles with you, straightforward yet profoundly impactful ideas that can anchor you when life gets turbulent. And the first one is, this true happiness starts when you genuinely understand who you are. And let's be honest, that's one of the hardest things to do. In a culture constantly pushing us to morph into something else, thanks to social media, public opinion, and even the expectations of loved ones, it's so easy to forget ourselves. But if you don't know who you are at your core, you'll keep chasing an illusion. Think back. How often have you pursued something because someone else told you it would make you happy? Maybe you thought landing that job or buying that car would bring you peace. But when you got it, the emptiness remained. You stood at the summit of one mountain only to notice an even higher peak ahead. Why does that happen? Because genuine happiness never comes from what we accumulate or achieve. It rises from within. And the gateway to it is self-awareness. So, let me ask you, who are you when no one's watching? Not the polished version of you, not the one molded for approval, but the honest, raw you. What brings you to life? What sets your soul on fire in the morning? If you can't answer that, how will you build a life that fulfills you? How can you chase a dream if you're unsure it's even yours? Living by someone else's desires won't ever satisfy your spirit. That's why it's crucial to get curious about yourself, your values, your triggers, your calling. Take Steve Jobs, for example. He wasn't concerned with fitting in. He ignored the critics and went against the grain. Why? Because he knew who he was and what he stood for. He didn't set out to build the world's most iconic company. He simply wanted to create something meaningful, technology that made life better. His clarity of self is what fueled his drive. The accolades came later, not because he chased recognition, but because he pursued purpose. So ask yourself, have you ever sat in silence, away from all the noise, and truly reflected on who you are? I know it's uncomfortable, it's easier to drown in distractions, but the deepest fulfillment begins when you commit to discovering the real you, not the curated version, not the one shaped by expectation, but the one that resonates with your soul. And when you do that, when you finally connect with your inner truth, you'll see the world differently. You'll walk with a sense of alignment, knowing you're on the path that's meant for you, even when that path isn't easy. Because let's face it, the journey to happiness isn't smooth. You will face trials, disappointments, and critics, but once you truly know who you are, those challenges won't shake you. You'll face them with resilience, rooted in something unshakable, belief in yourself. People often say, I don't have time for introspection. Life's too busy. And that's the problem. We're so consumed with pleasing the outside world that we forget to nurture the relationship with the one person who will walk with us every day of our lives, ourselves. Self-discovery isn't a one-time thing. It's an ongoing process of checking in, aligning your actions with your truth, and asking whether the life you're building actually reflects who you are. And here's the shift. When you know yourself, you stop chasing shallow forms of validation. You stop scrambling for the next goal or symbol of success, because you realize the joy you seek doesn't lie out there. It's been waiting inside you all along. Your purpose, your voice, your truth. So here's what I want you to do. Carve out time for stillness. Disconnect from distractions. Go for a walk. Meditate. Listen to that quiet voice inside. Ask yourself, what do I really want, and begin shaping your life around that answer. Knowing yourself isn't just about finding passion, it's about owning your scars and imperfections. Don't shy away from them, embrace them, because the more honest you are with yourself, the more joy and power you'll unlock. Now let me tell you something simple, but life-changing gratitude. We've all heard it before. Be thankful. It sounds basic, like something you'd find on a greeting card. But if you dive into it, really practice it, you'll discover one of the most powerful shifts in perspective. Gratitude isn't just a fleeting moment of feeling good, it reshapes your entire mindset. We spend so much time focusing on what's missing, convinced that we need more to feel satisfied. The promotion, the house, the relationship. We think, if I just get that, then I'll be happy. But that mindset traps us in a cycle of scarcity, always wanting, never feeling complete. But imagine if you flip the narrative. Imagine if you paused each day to truly notice what you already have. Gratitude changes everything. It alters how you see the world. And more importantly, it transforms how you see yourself. How often do we overlook life's quiet blessings? The roof over our heads, the people who show up, our health, a kind gesture, a silent sunrise. These small wonders are the foundation of our joy, but we miss them when we're fixated on what we lack. Gratitude doesn't mean pretending everything is fine. It means seeing beauty in what is. It means recognizing that even in the chaos, there are gifts. Because here's the reality. You could gain every worldly success and still feel empty if you never stop to appreciate what's already yours. You'll keep chasing fulfillment like it's a moving target, but gratitude pulls you back to the present, and that's where true joy lives in the now. Let me share a story that illustrates this perfectly. It's about Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor. Think about that. He endured horror, loss, and suffering beyond comprehension, and yet he survived, not just physically, but emotionally, because he found something to hold on to: gratitude. Amid unspeakable darkness, he chose to focus on the flickers of light. He once said, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." Even as everything was stripped from him, he held on to meaning. He cherished the smallest mercies. He found strength in gratitude. That perspective, that refusal to focus only on what was taken from him, is what gave him the power to endure. He didn't wait for things to get better. He focused on what still remained, and that was enough to sustain him. His story teaches us this: when we ground ourselves in gratitude, we become unshakable. You don't have to face a tragedy like Frankl's to practice this. All of us go through storms, heartbreaks, disappointments, loss. And in those moments, gratitude becomes more than a virtue. It becomes a survival tool. When the world feels like it's crumbling, gratitude is the lifeline that keeps us anchored. So start small. Appreciate your breath, the people who love you, your ability to begin again. Every single day offers something to be grateful for. And when you start seeing those moments, your view of life will shift. You'll stop feeling like something's missing. You'll realize you have enough right here, right now. When life becomes overwhelming, when the struggles mount and your energy feels drained, the remedy isn't found in accumulating more. It's found in appreciating what's already present. Practicing gratitude doesn't mean denying your difficulties or pretending everything is fine when it isn't. It means choosing to find light even while walking through the dark. It's saying, yes, this hurts. Yes, this is hard, but I am still thankful for the lessons, for the love, for the chance to try again. That kind of perspective builds resilience. It builds strength. It gives you the power to keep going even when everything inside you wants to give up. So make that decision. Start your gratitude practice now, not when everything's perfect, not when all the pieces fall into place. Begin today, right where you are, because when you do, you'll begin to notice a subtle shift, a new way of seeing, one that reveals just how much abundance already surrounds you. And in that shift, happiness begins to bloom. Real happiness doesn't come from what you get. It grows from how you see. That lens of appreciation, of being fully present, that's where joy lives. There's another essential element to happiness: purpose. Knowing your why. It's easy to fall into a cycle of routine, waking up, going to work, going through the motions, and repeating it all over again. Days blur, years pass, and you're left wondering what it all meant. But when you live with purpose, when every day is rooted in something meaningful, your life changes. It stops feeling like a chore and starts to feel like a calling. Purpose is what breathes life into your existence. It's what makes the ordinary feel extraordinary, and it's what keeps you grounded when the storms rage. But here's the thing. Most people don't slow down long enough to even ask themselves what their purpose is. They're too busy surviving to ask, why am I doing this? What am I living for? When you don't have an answer, life starts to feel hollow. But when you do, when you begin to uncover what moves you, what drives you, that's when everything transforms. You wake up not just with things to do, but with a reason to do them. Your work becomes meaningful. Your relationships deepen. Your vision expands. Life becomes more than tasks. It becomes mission-driven. Think about what keeps you going. What would you fight for even on your worst days? What impact do you want to make in the world? These aren't small questions, but they are necessary. You might discover that your purpose isn't just about personal goals. It might be about others, your family, your community, a cause that needs your voice. Your purpose might be the very thing that makes you get back up when you fall. It might be the fire that refuses to burn out even when the world feels cold. That's the kind of purpose that builds lasting happiness. Consider the story of Malala Yousafzai. She was young when the world came to know her, a girl who spoke up for education and nearly paid with her life. After being attacked for simply wanting girls to learn, she could have disappeared. She could have stayed silent, hid in fear, but she didn't. She chose purpose. She chose to transform pain into power, fear into fuel. She decided her life would stand for something greater than herself. And that purpose gave her strength, clarity, and yes, happiness. Not because her path was easy, but because it was meaningful. And the same is true for you. Your life will light up the moment you align your actions with your deeper reason for being. But purpose isn't always found in a moment of lightning clarity. Sometimes it emerges slowly through reflection, through service, through paying attention to what fills your soul. So don't rush it. Don't panic if you haven't found it yet. Just begin asking the right questions. Begin living with intention. Purpose isn't something you stumble across. It's something you uncover by living with awareness. And once you find it, you'll wonder how you ever lived without it. Purpose gives you endurance. It gives you focus. It gives your life shape and direction. And when you live with it, happiness follows not as a goal, but as a byproduct of a life well lived. But even purpose alone isn't enough. We're not meant to walk this road alone. True happiness can't exist in isolation. As human beings, we're built for connection. We need others to love, to support, to challenge us. In the hardest moments, we don't need solutions. We need people, the right people. The ones who lift us when we can't stand, who speak truth when we're lost in doubt, who sit in the silence with us when words don't help. These are the relationships that shape our lives, the ones that carry us when we can't move ourselves forward. But relationships don't build themselves. They take work, time, vulnerability. It's easy to get caught up in achievement, in goals, in checking boxes. But none of that will matter if we neglect the people we love. At the end of the day, it's not your resume or your bank account that will define you. It's the depth of your connections. It's who you showed up for. It's who showed up for you. We all need a tribe, a circle, a community, not just for celebration, but for survival. Think about Barack Obama and the way he speaks about his wife, Michelle. Through the highs and lows of leadership, she was his anchor. She reminded him of who he was when the weight of responsibility became too heavy. It wasn't the power, the title, or the prestige that kept him grounded. It was her love, her presence, their bond, that kind of support. It's priceless. It doesn't just comfort you, it strengthens you. It reminds you that even in chaos, you're not alone. And that reminder can be the difference between breaking and bending. But strong relationships don't just happen. They require intentional investment. They require being present, being patient, being real. You have to show up for people, not just when it's convenient, but when it matters. Because those are the moments that build trust, that build intimacy, that build the kind of connection that lasts. Think about the last time you really showed up for someone, not because you had to, but because your heart told you to. That's where joy lives, in the love you give, not just the love you receive. And yes, it's not always easy. people will disappoint you. There will be hurt. There will be friction. But don't let those moments stop you from building what matters. Relationships. Real deep ones are worth the mess. They're worth the work. Because when life hits hard, it's the people who love you that will hold you up. They'll help you find your strength when you've forgotten where it lives. And that kind of support, that sacred connection, is the foundation of a happy life. And here's the final piece that brings it all together: embracing the journey. See, most people have it backwards. They think happiness is waiting for them at the finish line after the degree, the dream job, the perfect house, or the ideal relationship. They imagine life as a ladder, and once they climb high enough, they'll finally feel fulfilled. But that's not how life works. That's not how happiness works. It's not something waiting for you in the distance. It's something that meets you in the now if you're willing to see it. The truth is, joy is found in the process. In the climb, in the messy, beautiful, unpredictable unfolding of life. It's not about avoiding the struggle, it's about allowing the struggle to shape you. Because in the pain, in the detours, and the delays, there's growth happening, there's wisdom being forged, there's character being built. The mountain isn't just there for you to conquer it, it's there to transform you. You don't reach the top just to enjoy the view. You get there knowing every step made you stronger, wiser, more alive. Take Oprah Winfrey's journey, for example. She didn't begin her life with privilege. She faced hardship most people couldn't imagine. Poverty, trauma, rejection. There were countless moments where she could have quit, walked away, or settled for less. But she didn't. She stayed in the fight. She let the hard moments refine her, not define her. She didn't wait for everything to be perfect before she believed in herself. She believed while she was still in the fire. That belief that perseverance was what made her who she is, not the fame, not the success. The journey itself shaped her. And that's what we need to understand. If you're waiting for life to be easy before you let yourself be happy, you'll be waiting forever. There will always be challenges, always be roadblocks. But what if the very things you're trying to avoid are the things you need most? What if the broken pieces are the ones teaching you how to be whole? Life is not about perfection. It's about progression. It's about becoming. And that only happens when you lean into the uncomfortable. When you stop resisting the path and start embracing it, you see the setbacks, the failures, the disappointments. They aren't the opposite of progress. They're part of it. They're part of the unfolding. Every misstep is a chance to learn. Every delay is an opportunity to grow. Every obstacle is an invitation to rise. And when you shift your mindset from why is this happening to me to what is this teaching me, everything changes. You stop seeing your struggle as a punishment and start seeing it as preparation. You realize that life isn't trying to break you, it's trying to build you. So don't run from the hard parts. Embrace them, let them stretch you, challenge you, shape you, let them bring out the version of you that only adversity can reveal. Because that version, the one that fought, the one that endured, the one that overcame, that's the version who will know happiness on a soul level. Not just the fleeting surface level kind, but the deep grounded kind that nothing can shake. You might wonder, can I really choose this perspective? Can I really decide to be happy even when things don't go my way? The answer is yes. Because happiness isn't handed to you. It's chosen. It's created. It's built day by day, choice by choice. You can choose to focus on what's missing, or you can focus on what's meaningful. You can choose to complain about the climb or find purpose in every step. And it all comes back to you. To knowing who you are, to being grateful for what you have, to waking up with purpose, to nurturing your relationships, to walking through the fire with your head held high. That's the life you were meant to live, not one of waiting or chasing or barely surviving, but one of intention, of presence, of joy. So today, not tomorrow, not someday, but today, make the choice. Choose to show up for yourself. Choose to see the beauty in the process. Choose to let go of the need for perfection and embrace the richness of the real. Choose to live with your whole heart, because happiness isn't waiting at the end of the road. It's here in this moment, ready to be claimed. You just have to say yes.